Hey, it's your girl Amber Rose, and you're listening to Tales from the Swing with Jean and Scott.
Hi, welcome to Tales from the Swing. My name is Jean Holden.
And I'm Scott Holden.
Tales from the Swing. Yeah! Tales from the Swing.
The hosts of this program are not medical professionals or lawyers and cannot give medical or legal advice. The content of this program is intended for entertainment purposes only. Enjoy.
Tales from the Swing. 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 Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Tales from the Swing, the podcast where we chat about open relationships and everything that goes along with it. LGBTQ, you're okay too.
Lifestyle.
Come on in.
And
All are welcome.
And I'm Scott Holden.
I'm Jean.
Did you say your name?
No, I haven't yet.
No, I'm sorry.
I might have. I think I did.
Well, if you
but
did,
anyway, I'm
you're
Jean
Holden. I'm Scott Holden.
and this is Scott, and this
And
is
we
Tales
are
from the Swing.
Wild Stallion.
We are Tales from the Swing. Welcome, guys, and
we felt obligated to throw a special episode out
yeah,
in honor of Jean's successful participation.
on the Ralph Report. I hope you
Ralph
guys
Report.
liked it. It came out really, really great.
I loved it.
And-
Let me just say, I enjoyed the whole segment. Of course I liked you because you're my wife. And
I
you're
liked the
sexy
whole
enough.
entire show.
I liked the whole segment.
Oh,
Well, yeah.
about the lifestyle segment.
Yeah, I like the whole.
What is it
What
called?
was it? Sex University.
Oh my God,
And
I love
li-
Sex You. I love all that.
And I like that Ralph. God, you're blowing me away. It's very rare that you blow
I'm
me
talking way too.
away.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
but and
too
you're also
close
blowing.
now.
You're blowing me out.
Sorry. Sorry.
I like that Ralph section. I liked his intro.
Yeah.
I like him talking about male douchebags because that is such a fucking problem that we talk about it on this show.
And
yeah.
it's true. All of that was true. What Ralph talked about, and
Yeah.
you could and
Although there's a couple things I
There's
would
just a few- yeah.
I would record correct for us because like it was weird because he said you shouldn't try this if your relationship is in a tumult or whatever, and I get what he's saying, but like in our case, like our relationship was in trouble because
Right.
we were both sort of living a lie.
I wonder if he was more saying that like
Like if you're gonna
don't
divorce
you to get back at the person. I think maybe he was using it like that.
No, I think
maybe
it was more
used-
like if you guys are on the rocks because you're not getting along.
This might not be the
This
solution.
is probably not the solution. But in
Yeah.
our case, we were having problems, but it was more because our problems were tied to the fact that we were free souls pretending to be buttoned up idiots. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
right.
Like
And there were things-
we had made a choice for a very like we kind of sobered up and cleaned up our act,
Right.
and when we did that, we also sort of like felt like sex and lifestyle and all that and not that we were ever like lifestyle, but we would end up in bed with our friends and stuff like that.
Well, yeah,
So,
because it was just the natural
Yeah,
flow of things.
yeah.
Now,
So anyway, so when he said that because then you went on to say, like when you went on the show, you were like, well, Scott and I were having problems. And so it sounded like a contradiction to the advice that yeah.
our problems were like deeper than any.
Our problems were because
were-
we weren't being
Our
who we
problems
were.
were because we were not being able to be who we
Ourselves.
truly
Or
were.
We didn't think we
We
could.
had become a
you
mom
know?
and a dad,
Yeah,
and we
and-
had both had full-time jobs. We did the things we were supposed
And it's
to
like
do.
we were both
and
keeping.
for some reason,
it was
we
like we
weren't
were both
allowed.
keeping our secret
Right,
from
almost
each
like
other and
from each
ourselves. But we
other.
already knew it. It wasn't a secret
But-
that we didn't
Right,
know.
but this
you
is
know?
why, like when I was talking to Ralph about the communication, as soon as that stops and you're not able to say, you know what, I'm not getting it. This is not working. We're not getting what we want.
Yeah.
You're not getting what you need because I know you.
Actually,
We
quickly, let's just set the listeners up. In case you're wondering what we're talking about, the Ralph Report. There's
Ralph
a
Report,
new show
yes.
by Ralph Garman. It's a podcast. Ralph Garman was on the radio in WXRQ, K-Rock, in, I'm sorry, K-Rock.
KRQ.
Yeah,
I think.
out in LA. And he did the morning show with them. He did the Hollywood Beat and all that.
With Kevin and Bean.
Yeah, and he was let go around November. And he decided...
Was it after Thanksgiving, before Christmas, or was it after?
It was somewhere in there.
Oh, my God. It was like right around the holidays.
Yeah. So, rather than just go find another radio job, and like Ralph talks about, he sat down with some guys. But then Ralph also hosts a podcast and night show club act every Friday night on with Kevin Smith from the Batman on Batman.
Batman and Fatman.
Oh, sorry, Fat Man on Batman and Smodcast. And,
I didn't even catch that.
I know, I caught it though because I looked up at the sign. I'm like, oh, I just said our name. So anyway, so he hosts with Kevin. And Kevin told him, you're at this impasse and you're a new chapter, maybe, and you have an audience. We have an audience. They're just as much your audience as my audience, and so therefore, there's no reason you can't try and do this thing on your own differently.
Right. So Kevin was a big pusher of the Ralph Report.
Yeah, starting the Ralph Report.
I love it.
So the Ralph Report is a pay subscription show.
And
it's very inexpensive.
Shut up, people, about the co-host thing. I think he's doing a great job.
Oh, whatever. I didn't want to get there. I love the show. It's its first week. Please, folks.
And people
give it
are
a week
already
to gel,
like,
folks.
Co-host, like what?
I mean, he has
That's
segments. He has segments with people, so when you're doing that, it's like having a co-host.
Right. It's like having like 3 or 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like the way it's set up.
Yeah, me too. I think if I go back, maybe the first episode didn't have some music backgrounds.
Yeah,
like the light jazz. Yeah, it really helps.
Right.
Like so that is
right.
I mean, you can tell he has a radio background.
Right.
There's a lot of radio stuff.
Right. And that's not saying like there's some podcasts that have it that shouldn't have it, but it fits for this.
It works for him. That's it's his roots.
Right.
It's his thing.
It fits for this, like the music fits.
He's very produced and
right.
So anyway, so now we've sucked his dick.
So it's a Patreon. So check out theralphreport.com and check and sign up.
Yeah, it's
a
Patreon. Week, it's like $3 is the cheapest to get in, and $5. We're $5 because we want some of the video. And it goes up to $20, and they go generals, 1-star general, 2-star general.
Right.
So anyway, so go subscribe over at theralphreport.com.
Right.
We've given them enough plugs. And that way you can also hear Jean, who is on the Thursday show.
I know.
It just dropped today
That's
as we record this. And Ralph added apparently a bit from his radio days that got kiboshed after somebody exposed their boob on national
Janet
TV.
Jackson at the Super Bowl.
So
Justin Timberlake's going to be there again this year. They're thinking, "Oh my God, what's going to happen?" Oh my gosh, on the last Ralph Report, they talked about it.
Yeah.
He talked about NSYNC coming with
Justin
Timberlake and Joey Fatone. So don't you think?
He made a joke about Joey Fatone.
I know.
But you know what's funny?
Joey
Fatone has a relationship with
Q.
Yeah, with
I
Q
know.
And those guys. So it's kind of weird.
And he was joking. He's like,
Cross camp.
Someone came up to Joey Fatone. He's like, "Don't you think I'd be in rehearsal now?"
Yeah.
I was like, it's so funny. It's just a Joey Fatone attitude and like remark. I love it.
I like the fact that he doesn't mind because his last name is Fatone, the fat
right. And isn't he Superman? He's huge into Superman. I remember the podcast because I think he was on What Say You.
He was also on Impractical Jokers.
He was on Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
I know he was on What Say You because I remember.
And they talk about him like he's a really great guy.
Yeah.
And
he's
sure he is.
And he's a total comic book guy apparently too.
Yes, he's very much so.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I don't know how we got. Oh yeah, because of Ralph.
He's just fun to goof on. Anyway, other than that, it was a great little segment.
Yeah. So we've met Ralph a couple times through our Kevin connection. If those who don't know, we host another show, which is a fanboy and fangirl love fest to Kevin Smith and his universe. And, and we've been doing that for several years. So it's as much about us as it is about anything else.
Yeah.
But we kind of save all the really sexy stuff for this show.
Yeah.
So that's how we know Ralph. And
it was cool because he didn't even need to reference the other show.
Yeah, and he's been on that show too. So
And he was, but this was a separate, and he was trying to make this its own
all
thing.
good.
I
all
loved
good.
it.
I got no problem with any of that. It's
I
all
loved
good.
It was very professionally done.
Yes. So, but that was it. I just loved the way the whole bit rolled out. I mean, his prep, and that's the thing. It turns out Ralph, was a swinger at one point. So he
was.
When
I totally see it too.
and I love the way he sets up the whole. I'm the very rare male single guy who managed to get in lifestyle, and he nailed it because he had a couple like that would take him. That would sort of
See, that is like he had people.
He was like in a triad, I'm sure.
Right, and he had the
and so they would endorse him, and so therefore he would fall in.
Right, they pulled him under their wing and brought him around.
So that makes it a lot easier.
He was their little baby.
Single guys at clubs and all kinds of places are just handsy douchebags.
And Ralph doesn't appear.
Creepy.
Ralph is not
Lou.
that.
Yeah.
Ralph would never appear to be that way to me.
Yeah.
So he probably was a gentleman and got laid a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you're a gentleman and attractive, and
you'll have fun a lot,
and you're not expecting, because there's so many guys, single guys, that just expect it, and they're just lingering, and it's not so bad to watch. But if you're like lingering and like kind of like inserting yourself,
it's like
and kind of like hanging
out,
slithering around,
First of all, we don't like that licky loose shit anyway, so we don't even put ourselves in that position nowadays. We've evolved.
Yeah. See,
I mean, we know what we like.
There's definitely times it's okay, but in that respect, it's not. I don't really like
creepy
that.
is never good.
No,
creepy is never good.
It's not. It's like creep.
Doesn't work for anybody.
Yes.
So yeah,
but Ralph was not that.
So the fact that this appearance went so well, we figured it was a good time to at least drop another show,
right?
And just let people know what's going on, because as you know, we had mentioned it earlier, and it's been in the works. But this, I think, sort of has put the nail in the coffin that Ralph will be a guest.
Right, Ralph will be a guest
on Tales from the Swing.
Tales from the Swing,
sometime in the future,
and we'll be able to hear more about it. Because I mean, details are always his.
I don't need to know. We don't even need to know that kind of stuff. But I would like to know. There are definitely things I would like to know.
We definitely have
first of all, I know he dated Ginger Lynn.
Okay, well, you can't ruin it right out of the gate.
Well, I know he did, so I'm actually baiting the hook. So I want to know more about that.
And like the people listening do too, because I totally
that's a girl I masturbated
to
as a child.
Me too.
You know what I mean?
Well, not a child.
Well,
I think I was at least
sexual. I mean, we're going back to early '80s. That's when she was a star.
Yeah, I think I was late to her.
Yeah.
I was like 90s.
You fell into my collection.
I was in the 90s, yeah. But what is it, like Gingerlyn and Amberlyn? One of them are they? But they're not related.
No, not really. Those are porn names.
The one who had
been
more.
Together
the one who had
stuff,
more,
but,
like the bigger.
But Ginger was much more the home.
She was more petite.
The next door neighbor.
She was the petite girl.
And that was her whole thing. She was the girl next door.
She was so tiny.
Who shouldn't have been.
But wasn't she so tiny though? She was so petite.
She was incredibly.
Her body was amazing.
And she was like.
She was so
There was stuff
little.
in movies I remember she was doing that people didn't get with until the 90s. Yeah, the other one was Amber Lynn. They weren't related. They're both cute. She always seemed a little more. This is going to sound wrong, but skanky or a little. She was a little more the dirty girl.
Yeah.
She was kind of like the metal slut.
Yeah.
Or
she was
whatever.
like the trailer trash one.
No,
that made her kind of hot.
But more like the put some sugar on. Like the girl who would go for those kind
like
of
the
bands.
Lena Ford girl.
Yeah, the big
Lita
hair.
Ford. Sorry, I said
the big
that
hair.
Yeah.
So in that respect, there's something like you're not as surprised as when Ginger. Ginger, the girl next door, who dresses.
Sweetheart. Wait, I know the line. Sweetheart, you are a celebration. Remember? That's the line. You remember?
Yes.
Sweetheart, you are a celebration.
Then there was that other one where they would be like,
because she was celebrating something.
Yes. But then there was this. What was the one where?
So funny.
There was another one with her where they were in like some sort of therapeutic community, but he was hypnotizing them.
I don't remember that one.
And he left like a code word in.
Oh my God.
And whenever anyone said it, now
she had to like suck his cock or something.
Well, and that was the thing.
It always has to please me.
As soon as the hypnosis session is over, it was sensational.
Yeah.
Honey, you're sensational.
But can I tell you?
Of course, she's like ripping his clothes
now
off.
We're just talking about porn that we watched a while ago.
Right.
But there's a girl who's in
porn.
like a French maid outfit that masturbates. It's really pretty.
That's in that.
That's in the same.
That's one of her. Yeah,
that's in the one. That's the guy.
I know the name.
And
That's the name of the film, for those at home doing their homework, is Ginger on the Rocks.
Ginger
It's
on
a
the
classic.
Rocks. That's it. And then the dentist's office is another one in there. Oh my God, that's such a great porn. I
It
love
has that guy who it has. What's his name? The Hedgehog is in that
Ew,
too.
I know.
Who
Who
Ralph was
apparently
talking
got
of.
kicked out of the porn awards for being a skank.
Yeah, and it's
For trying to grab people's junk.
I remember him being on Howard, and I remember Bobbitt
Ew.
with Bobbitt, who was like doing porn with him. Like he was directing.
Bobbitt?
And
Who's Bobbitt? The guy who
John
got
Wayne
his-
Bobbitt. Yes,
the guy who got his penis chopped off.
Later did porn. I know this is all kind of.
He did porn
But
after
here's
or
what I
before?
remember during the interview with Howard. he was like he talked about having to tell fucking what's his name, the Hedgehog guy,
Yeah.
Ron Jeremy, to like get out of the scene
Because
he
he'd
was
be-
directing, and next thing you know, he's pulling off his fucking clothes and jerking it, getting ready to jump in. He's like, "Dude, this wasn't supposed to be with you."
Okay. Can I ask you
So
a
that
question?
just tells you the kind of guy he was.
Did
you know?
Bobbitt do porn after or before his penis got cut off?
After it was like after it got sewed back on.
Then he's doing porn?
And then he even got some sort of weird augmentation. And that's why the name of the
No.
movie was actually called Frankenpenis.
You are kidding me.
Absolutely.
Oh my God. I have never heard of this. I've never heard of it. And I never
It
seen
wasn't
it.
on your radar back then. Why
Oh
would it
my
have been?
God.
It
So
was
he
like
got
back in the 90s.
Okay,
or
so
some
they
shit.
found it because what's her name? I forget her name now.
Lorena Bobbitt chopped
Lorena
it
Bobbitt
off,
chopped-
then they sewed it back on.
So and
So
they
then he's
actually
in-
found it, remember?
Yeah, so then he's in the news and everything.
So now he got an augmentation, meaning he got
but
it bigger.
then after it got put on, so he got some sort of augmentation,
Meaning,
like some sort of either, girth or length enhancing.
yeah, he had a penis enhancement.
Yeah, of some kind.
Yeah, like a
And-
breast
and
enlargement.
then-
A penis
But
enlargement.
apparently the whole thing looked so odd, that was even why they called it Frankenpenis.
Yeah.
So, and like it had fat also
Ew.
injected into
it's
it.
Like,
so it was just
ew,
like
it's
some-
like mask, but a penis.
pretty much, yes. It was the Eric Stoltz mask.
Penis.
Morty. Penis.
Oh my God, that's so mean. But all I could think of is like a big bumpy mess. Like, why would you want that?
Yeah. That,
Ooh,
well,
maybe that would feel
And
good.
all of this essentially was to get money. But anyway.
You never know,
and
ladies.
I
That might be
remember
the
that
new
he
thing.
he was, if you recall, You know what? It's weird. I was at a con and Bob, he was there.
And he's not an unattractive
And I got
man.
a picture of him.
You have a picture with him?
Somewhere, yeah.
You better
very
find
early. Matter of fact, I think it was Chiller Theater.
I don't
with
remember
Joey.
him being a bad looking man. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
It was just like a weird deal. But anyway.
Isn't
Like, he
it
was just in the
crazy?
crowd.
That's where he went. Like he had his penis chopped off and then he goes into porn after.
And yeah, and now he does the con circuit, I guess.
Like the porn con? Like
No,
the-
like cons, like
what kind of con is he doing?
whatever, sci-fi con, because he's always going to be the guy who got his dick chopped off by a woman.
Ew, and that's what he
I
what
guess.
does he take a picture of his penis and sign it?
You know what? Who are we to judge? Look at us.
That's true. But wait.
Look at what we're doing here.
Wait.
We don't even have, if only we had the benefit of you chopping off my penis, it would save
would
so
have a
much
reason-
time. Then we could be doing the con
Then
circuit.
we'd have an agent and then we could go to the con. No, but listen to me.
Please don't do that. By
Going-
the way, I don't want that. I don't need to be famous that bad.
Going to the con, he's there as the man who got his penis chopped off.
He's there as John Wayne Bobbitt.
And
I
people
guess.
just get their picture taken with him.
Yeah.
I wonder how
Hey, it's a guy who got his dick chopped off.
I wonder how much it costs.
It's a novelty photo.
I wonder how much he costs for an autograph.
$10.
For an autograph and a signature.
How much to suck it?
Ew!
How much to see it? Ah, no.
Suck it.
No, I
Can
wouldn't-
he come anymore?
I have no idea. Do we have to go
I
down?
need-
We're
we
already
need to interview
way
him.
too far down this road.
We need to interview him for the
We
show.
could probably get him on the show.
I totally want
Probably
him on.
that-
I want to see this penis
I'll
or
do
hear
that.
about it.
Were you guys on the Ralph Report?
Reports.
I know, but we can.
It's not the Colbert Report.
We privately call it the Ralph Report.
I know.
It's-
We
it's
try to
just
make
fun.
it a Colbert
It's class,
thing.
we class it up.
Yeah.
It's French. It's French.
It's not classy enough.
It's not classy enough when we're talking about swinging.
The Ralph Report.
Also, for the record, we are not a fan of the term swinging. We don't really consider ourselves swingers anymore so much
No.
as poly.
Now, let's get this straight.
But, I mean...
Swinging is a 70s term, which is okay.
And it's falling
And
out
it's
within
used-
the actual lifestyle itself.
But what I'm
And
going to
same with
say
swap.
is I totally get why people use it, because it's a quick
You
way.
got to be on the same term.
A quick
on
way
the
of
same
describing
page.
what it is.
Shorthand.
Right.
Yeah.
It's shorthand.
And it's figuring out
Right.
where do your
and
limits.
swap and swing. Like they're just,
But
you
they're
get a
left
visual
over.
is
They're
what.
very
right.
left over from a
Right.
from a time when it was very misogynistic.
Right. And you're getting a visual because and you know what it means just from saying the word.
Yeah.
It's like almost onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
Swap.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an onomatopoeia word.
There's no onomatopoeia about it. It is what it is. That's
Yeah.
what they're saying.
So,
you're like, you're like a piece of property.
right. But Ralph really described.
Yeah, he did it very well.
He really did a great job.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
impressed with it.
Although I think the one area he said that soft swap, yeah, it does include a lot of looking, but usually soft swap is everything up into the act of penetration.
Oh yeah, it's touching.
Penis and vagina.
You can touch
You
the
can
breast.
touch,
you
yeah,
can touch the
you-
penis.
you
You
know.
can jerk the
And
penis. I guess all
kissing
of
is
it.
another weird thing that some people
Yeah.
have rules on. We love kissing, so that would never be on our.
Kissing is like number one.
Yeah, because it's so much fun. I mean,
Maybe
that's
we'll
what
do
gets things going.
a section on this show, Kissing 101.
Yeah, it'd be better on video, and if we had another girl here,
Yeah.
then we blow up Patreon.
Yes.
Girls kissing.
Patreon would like explode.
It is sexy. There's not there. I mean,
Yeah.
too pretty. Anybody kissing is hot.
Yeah, two
I
pretty
mean,
boys
as a
is
guy,
kissing
yeah,
too. Pretty people in general, a boy and a girl and a boy.
Exactly. The whole.
Two
That's
boys,
why
two
it's like
Kissing.
We always end up doing this.
Kissing is just great.
Yeah, it's hot.
It is. It's nice.
Yes, indeed.
So many adjectives.
Indubitably.
So many adjectives to describe
Suddenly,
kissing.
I'm Daffy Duck.
Supercalifragilistic.
So we didn't want to, we don't want to overburden this show, this particular
Right, we're just being
episode.
goofy now, though.
We just wanted to kind of throw a
Introdu-
reset
right.
out there.
Introduce ourselves to people that are just listening.
Yeah,
now.
there's going to be new people
right.
coming
Listen
from the
to
Ralph
Danny
Report.
Rapp. Then the
Yeah, our last episode is also a great episode for a new listener because it bridges with our other show that we do.
right.
So if you're a Kevin Smith fan,
And she's a writer, an artist, a comic book nerd, and she's
our news person
Yeah.
on our other show.
yeah,
And she's great. She's a lot of fun. She's pansexual.
yeah, she's yeah. So she totally fit with this show
Yeah.
as well as the other show. So
We really
it was
dig her.
awesome.
She's fun
Yeah.
to talk to. She's
Yes.
she has family also, and lifestyle related.
Right. And she has another podcast.
Oh yeah, of course. And that would be Freaky Fandoms.
Freaky Fandoms.
Which you can go to at Freaky Fandoms
Right.
or freakyfandomspodcast.com.
Right.
It's amazing how I know all this.
It's
stuff.
cool as a podcaster to promote our friends.
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. Lift people up, guys. These
Yes.
days, it's just too much hate.
Yes.
Hate.
Yes, and you can if you're also on if you go over to our other show, That Man on Fat Man, right now is a guy our other Clerks podcasters who do Clerks Minute.
Oh, yeah.
So check out Clerks Minute. Their
Actually,
podcast
the
as
Clerks
well.
Minute followed this Tales from the Swing just yesterday or today.
Well,
So they might be listening right now.
I think we are popping on the radar
Why
to a
not?
lot of folks with this
Yeah.
one. We may be even popping on the radar with a lot of Kevin Smith fans.
I hope
just
so.
because, again, as we know, like we've been doing it for a while, but Kevin promoting us for Kevin to promote us is gross. It's like, hey, I'm going to
Yeah,
promote
but
the
this
show that's about me.
Yeah, but Ralph.
But
you
Ralph
know,
is very cool,
And can I
this
tell
show
you-
makes sense.
I just want to share really
So
quick.
it's your gateway drug.
I lost my job yesterday. I wasn't going to say it. I'm going to share about it right now.
Okay, good.
I lost my job yesterday, and so I knew that I was recording with Ralph yesterday. So thank God I had that to look forward to. I sent him a message, and if I just want to tell you guys, if you don't follow Ralph yet on Patreon, try it because I'm telling you from the heart, he's like an amazing man.
He's good people.
He will, he means what he says. It's from the heart.
Right.
He's a smart guy. He's not lazy. He cares about people. All of this shit is true. He's
Yeah.
funny.
And it's-
he's
If I could just say, like
Yes.
I got, and I talk about this, I think on the episode that we have him on the other show, but like I always felt like he was the surly uncle to Kevin, to Kevin's,
Yeah.
like flighty goofiness and niceness. But when you meet him, that surliness is
right.
is not
and you
there at all.
immediately you immediately pulled
he's a very
in.
charming guy.
He's very charming, and so just try the Ralph.
That's
Report.
my word of the day, I think.
Charming.
Charming, yes.
Try out the Ralph Report because I think you'll really like it. And if you're listening and this is your first show, you probably have already listened to it.
And it's 5 days a week.
Yeah, it's
So
5
like
days
you get entertainment 5 days a week. So that's and you pay monthly.
Right.
Even if you just get in at the $3 amount, what is
Right.
that? Like 25 cents an
Right.
episode?
And if you do it today, you get all the ones that are already dropped already.
yeah.
So you
Yeah.
get to listen to
Because it's podcasting,
right,
and not radio.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about podcasts. You can
Yeah.
go back and listen to everything.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and you don't have to be
And it's not
like the
like-
first person signed up to get everything.
And so far, it's all been under an hour, so it's not like
It's a perfect, almost like
Yeah.
commute.
you can listen.
time.
You can listen on your lunch hour. You could whatever. So
Well, I won't be doing that anymore, but you guys might.
well, now
I
you
just-
can listen all you want.
I know.
for the
It's
next
kinda-
few.
But I'm telling you, like having that yesterday was so.
I'm glad you opened up about it because
Yeah, I didn't really talk about it, but now that we're talking about Ralph, just the message was very. And
because
you know,
he just went through this.
yeah, and I can honestly tell you, and he used the word. He's like, I know how frightening it is,
And we're very worried, by the way. We're putting on a happy face, but
Right,
on the
but
other,
listen.
we're like on that.
Because he said, I know how frightening
We're
it
on that
is. So,
surfboard
like
where-
for Ralph to say, I know how frightening it is, for Ralph to say that,
But like I said, you are so employable. You could fucking walk into whatever place, like if you just needed a job, if you were you could walk into a ShopRite, a
Oh, yeah.
Walmart, a whatever. And if they didn't hire you, I'd be amazed because
yeah. Well,
you know what I mean.
thank you. It's
And-
just weird.
and if you-
I've never
and
lost a job before.
I know
This
everyone
isn't
hates.
new.
I know we all hate Kevin Spacey now. But if you remember in what was it, American Life or whatever it was,
American Beauty.
American Beauty,
I love that movie, actually.
like after he kind of like he's in that situation where he can basically get a year's salary out of his company. And what does he do? He goes and fucking works the job. He works at like a fast food restaurant because there's absolutely no pressure.
Can I tell you?
As
I
soon
love
as
that.
he's done, he leaves. And I've
Right.
done that in my life, and there is something very freeing about that.
Yeah, but it's different though when you need other things to go along with it, like benefits.
Yeah, that's true. yeah.
And can I say, I like that movie, American Beauty, and I will watch it even though Kevin Spacey's
just
in
like
it.
I loved
People-
fucking what do you call it? Baby Driver.
I know.
He's in that.
Yeah,
But
I'm
what are you
just-
gonna do?
I don't know. I'm not
I
gonna
can
watch
separate
it.
the art from the artist in that
know.
particular film.
I know. I'm gonna. Yeah. I think I don't even want to go there with him.
All right. Do we want to make this a long show, or do we want to?
No, we don't have to make it long. I just wanted to kind of introduce ourselves to people that are new. And probably they already subscribe to Ralph because they're listening to us
that's
through
very
Ralph.
much true, yeah.
So what I just said was kind of silly.
But no, you
But
never
share
know.
it.
Some
Share
of
it
our,
on
some
Twitter.
of our listeners will.
Yeah,
will
share
come
a lot
in.
on Twitter because I think it helps Ralph too because
Yeah.
that's less sharing that he has to do.
I'm sure we picked up listeners from Keith and the Girl. I'm sure, what I
Yeah.
mean? So you never know.
Oh, and also go back in time and listen to Amber Rose. 'cause
Yeah,
that was
Amber
an
Rose is a
amazing-
great show. Yeah,
Amber
because at the
Rose-
time it was kind of weird because she was in a little hot water.
Yeah.
Because of comments about male bisexuality,
Right.
and I'm able to like kind of rib her a little bit.
Yeah,
about
and
it. It was fun.
and
she was
actually
actually very
flirty,
cool.
and she was flirty with.
She was very cool. She was very cool.
She's very attractive, and
Yeah.
I think she just had a surgery.
Yeah,
she had breast reduction.
To which everyone was like, "What are you doing that for, man?"
I know. That's what I hear that. Like I've heard that in my previous job,
Yes.
there was a girl who had that, and in high school, and the guys were like, "Why are you doing that?" But in high school you get it, but when you're a grown man and you're still saying that shit,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
There's a difference between a 16-year-old and
Again,
a 35.
did you hear Ralph talking about guys? And
But there's not a difference. That's the thing.
they're just big dopes. They
Yeah.
wander
Don't
around.
go- listen.
And there's such entitlement and
Don't go-
weirdness. And,
all right.
if you think you're entitled to anything, you're not.
Right. I try. Okay. I don't tell people what to do, but listen.
Listen. Here's the easiest way to put it. They don't want you. You want them. These guys. She wants me. When they want you,
This is the. Let me just say
they're
this.
crazy. They confuse.
When everyone goes into the open relationship, like everyone's going into it for their own reasons. Okay. You're not like if you think that you're the one that is gonna make it, like you're the only one I'm ever gonna want to
Humility
see.
is so much
But
better
it's
than
not-
anything.
I know.
And it's always
know.
best to approach everything with humility.
I know. Humility and kindness.
Open-mindedness.
Right. Kindness. Yeah. It's just softness goes a long way. That's why girls sometimes are just so much better.
Yeah.
Because they don't have that, like, as much of a entitlement thing.
Yeah. Well, so
Anyways.
to wrap this up
Yeah.
and kind of reset, also, actually, this is a good place to put this now. Like this show, while we love it, it is much more of a labor of love.
Right.
So if you look at the feed and you go, oh my God, there's not a lot there. We only started about a year ago, and we really, like, at first we came out guns a-blazing.
Right.
And it actually messed up our other show, and we ended up finding balance issues.
Right.
So our other show, That Man on Fat Man, really is our primary show. We try and drop that, regularly and
Right.
not miss a beat. We got commercials and all that stuff. This show has really been much more low key, much more like a passion project, and I don't see it changing.
Right.
I do see us doing some more shows, especially now that we'll be breaking big time. No, I'm kidding.
Right. I'd like to do more because I think I'm going to be around more. So
Yeah,
I think we'll be
here's
able
a
to.
new opportunity. Yes,
Right.
things
And
change.
like, if you guys are listening now and you have like questions, or just send us a
Yes,
tweet.
because that's huge.
Like,
Like,
so
we love to incorporate
like
your
at
stuff
Tales
into
from the Swing
show.
and just tweet us
Or it's actually at Tales from Swing.
at Tales. Well,
But
you'll
if you
you'll
type in
find it.
Tales from the Swing,
Yeah.
we come up.
And just like ask us a question, because you like, if you there's a possibility that you may be able to have an open relationship, maybe. And
Yes,
if you want to like some advice or whatever, we might be able to help you.
Yes. Oh, and Dr. Squee, thank you for the
Dr. Squee.
Thank you for the comment.
Yes, we got the
tweets.
comment. Yeah, we got the comment.
Hey,
I
whatever,
get it.
whatever works for you.
Yeah.
However you want to work it.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's a fun. I mean, again,
I just,
and it's weird because the way that you made it, like I asked you and you said yes, but there was obviously a lot of
Yeah,
build.
I mean, we
and
were-
actually I had done some homework and I had actually planned a date too up front, so
Right.
that it was like, do you want to do this? Yes. Okay. Good. Here's this thing.
right. Well, yeah, I mean, he didn't really ask, like, how did your first date go? I mean, I could have gone
Yeah,
into
yeah,
that
yeah,
because
yeah,
it was
yeah.
very, a lot
It's
of
crazy. It's
very
like your first-
nervous.
It's like your first time with anything.
It was very nervous.
It's very nervous.
But
You
it
don't know what's
turns
going
out
on, but at
that-
the end of the day, you loved it.
I don't think I loved it. And then, but I remember
you
those,
wanted more.
those first people were judgy.
Yeah, they were very judgy.
And I was like, I don't know. Like, it didn't stop me from wanting to do it again, but
No.
it just gave me a sour.
Yeah, it was like, oh wow,
They were judgy.
yeah.
And I don't know why, because she was cute and I was cute. All of us were cute in the room.
Although,
Maybe she didn't like
here's
me.
what I've come to find:
We
are
were new.
but there are people out there that like that are preyers on the new and don't ever want repeats.
Like, okay, so they were using us.
Essentially, that's their thing.
Okay.
They don't, or
But that's
and
not.
it could just be they're so very selective.
Okay,
that
then
they-
to
and
me-
maybe, hey, you know what? It was our first time.
Okay.
Maybe we weren't that good.
We weren't?
No, maybe we weren't. We were fucking new and nervous.
Yeah. Yeah, but they were at one point too.
Yeah, whatever. That's the way the ball bounces.
Yeah.
I remember that guy being kind of tubby too, so it wasn't like, oh, this is so great. He's such a fucking catch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's so. If they're judging on us, they didn't have a lot to judge about.
No, but physically, why would they judge on us? There's
I
nothing
know.
physically wrong with us. Really. I mean,
I don't know. It was
and
weird.
even Ralph was talking about that too. He said that there's a place for every kind of person.
Exactly.
So
Like-
we were able to
Should we
believe
talk?
me.
Should we give a tales from the date? Should we talk about New Year's Eve before we go?
Yeah, let's talk about that quick. Because that was kind of like
So we can make it official.
take one
Here's
for
a
the
tales
team.
from the date.
Like take one for the
Yes,
team.
yes, okay, yeah. And that's so funny to me because, okay, so Ralph was talking about taking one for the team on the show.
Yes.
And,
Well, I guess
Now-
that will be the name of this show now.
What
Take one for the team.
no, it's Tales from, what do you call it?
Tales from the date.
No, it's Tales from
Oh yeah, the Ralph Report. Yes.
So, what was I saying? You made me lose my
They're
thought.
talking about listening to Ralph, and then it reminded us of
The date?
yeah.
Yeah,
the
so
New Year's Eve date.
most of the time, people think taking it for the team is usually a woman or a guy has to, has to interact, have sex with whatever limits you have with a person that they're not really that into.
Right.
So I was thinking, usually it's the guy and girl. Usually it's like the girl's not into a guy or something. But I didn't it was. I mean, I now it all makes sense. It all
Right.
tumbled into place.
Right.
But it was actually a girl that you took it.
It was.
Yeah.
Now
And
this was it okay? Okay. Scott is usually the one to schedule dates.
what you'll find in the community is a lot of time.
And it's a lot of work. I mean, and it's and
it's not as much as you think, but it is a bit of a routine. It's like anything else. It's something you have to get into.
I mean, there's a lot of you research and
culling.
Yeah, and like checking out the people, and just making sure there's a connection, and wanting
no creeps,
checking out where they live,
no
and all that,
no
creeps, and all this stuff.
Yeah.
So, picture's fine, and we get there.
I mean, it's not. I get that people think it like you hear Ralph's like, oh, it's too much of a chore. It's not that much of a chore.
What?
I mean, it's just like reading email. You know what I mean? It's just you can add 15 minutes to your day. And that would be it.
Yeah.
15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
Tops.
I mean, yeah. So,
it's not like backbreaking. Maybe at first, because you don't know what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, you're trying to navigate the sites and all that. But now you're pretty much, pretty sure. So, this was New Year's Eve. Now, it was kind of like, we're not sure. Is this happening? Is it not happening?
Yeah,
Do we know?
Which is always sort of one of the, I mean, there's always a bit of an element to,
right.
Are they going to flake out?
Right. And we were not hosting here. We were going to their house.
Yeah.
Now, where did they live again? Somewhere in this state.
Doesn't matter. None of that
Somewhere
matters.
around here.
None of that matters. Like, an hour away.
Not far, about an hour. So we wound up going.
Yeah.
Right? We wound up going.
And the one thing they had said that they were sort of returning to the lifestyle, that they had taken a break for
a
year or so, or 2 years, or I don't know.
Right.
And they
had some relationship issues, I'm sure. I sensed,
all right, whatever.
I sensed
the
that.
case may be. And apparently they had,
which is okay. I'm not saying
they
it's
had
not.
A certification, like someone had apparently been with them and given them a write up, and it didn't seem like it was from a creepy club, just a club or something.
Right.
So we figured, what the heck? We'll take a chance. I mean, pictures seem like a normal couple. Everybody always sends their best when they're sending pics. Yeah. So,
are you getting the vibe yet, guys? Are you getting it?
All right. So,
are you getting the feeling?
They were very lovely. They were nice people.
Oh my God. And their house was
beautiful. They were great. They were open. They were honest. They were.
And she was very vocal about her being the breadwinner.
Yeah.
Just saying that. So she was a confident feminist.
Yes.
And she made a remark about Hillary.
Yeah.
Other than that.
It really tripped your trigger. And there was a moment at which I was like, are we going to end up leaving?
Yeah, and I think what happened was,
I kind of tripped my trigger too. I mean, it's weird. Like, I hate to say this, but we're not into Trump supporters, so there's no reason to reward them with sex. So
or Hillary smashers or whatever you call them, trashers or whatever. So
all our red flags were going
off.
But it was New Year's Eve and it was getting late and things finally started moving in that direction.
Yeah. So I was like, And I'm just saying, I wasn't into her. I wasn't really into her. She was.
You weren't really into both of them, if I recall back.
See, but going back to Ralph. Like, I'm not like.
But like, you weren't. You never. At no point did you send up a flare saying I'm out, or like.
No, but I don't do like. I'm not mean. I just kind of shimmy.
So you went more with it because it was like, that's New Year's Eve.
There's a way of shimmying around the room without being like, ew, get off me.
You had already made the decision in your mind that you weren't going full swap with anybody.
Oh, no. And I wasn't doing certain things. I did some things, and I knew.
You set limits.
I set limits, which was fine, and the night turned out fine.
Yeah,
and I was happy because it was New Year's Eve, and
we went through with it, even though
we went through with it. I mean, and you probably had more fun than I did. Maybe, I don't know. It wasn't the worst night ever. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
I mean,
but it wasn't the greatest night ever either.
No, but sometimes I think we both kind of.
Yeah.
I think we both
and
did.
We both kind of took it one for the team.
I think we both did. We just. I think we both did.
I think we found the end of the show.
That is so funny. We've come full circle, sweetie.
Yeah. All right, folks. I think that wraps it up for this episode of Tales from the Swing. But we'll be back with more dates and
more
fun.
tales.
Oh, well, maybe not anymore. After hearing this, we'll be like, we're going to tell their shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but we don't give names of anybody or anything. Yeah.
Those people might find out who they are. Oh my God, they were dicks. They didn't like us.
Yeah.
It's just they weren't a perfect match. Again, it's the chemistry wasn't perfect.
Like, right? Did you hear how many swingers there are in the country?
There you go. And
millions.
The other thing that I would have said, actually, now that you brought that up, is when you guys were talking about bisexuality on the male side. Yes, there is, but for instance, we're open about it, so people who come to us sort of know that up front.
Yeah.
So people who want to take a walk on the wild side, will tend to come forward to us.
Right. Oh, the other thing is if you want
So, that. Here's the other thing. I'm a firm believer in, guys, it's always going to be this way. As long as you're bi and in the closet, it's always going to be this way.
Right. Bi guys are hot. I just want you to know that.
So if we want it to be okay, like the girls, because we both behave the same way, the girls and the boys, the bisexual girls and the bisexual boys behave exactly the same way. It's just really okay with girls. It's not okay with boys.
Right. One has a penis, the other one doesn't.
That's always going to be that way until more of the bi males come out and set the record straight. And listen, if you don't believe me that they're out there and you think you're in the dark, and go on Craigslist and just spend a little time looking at M for M, and you will fucking find tons of married guys.
That's like dick pic heaven there, isn't it? Craigslist?
It's
dick
crazy.
Pic heaven.
I love how you mentioned Tinder too, because
Tinder's a unicorn.
Tinder's great for unicorns for us. That seemed like whenever we've had unicorns, they've always seemed to come from Tinder.
I know.
But I will say in the last few months, probably in the last 6 months, Tinder has been loaded with like bots and weirdos and like what I would call Tinder employees. I
wonder if that has something to do with that has nothing to do with that thing that they passed, the government thing.
No, it has more to do with like them trying to make it seem like they have more
control.
More people online.
Well, Twitter does that shit too.
You can always know this by, here's how you know, like that they're Tinder employees is because they will never use any other type of communication. Like you can't, they won't go to Kik, they won't go to anything.
Oh, okay.
They're always like, when you start to talk about meeting physically, they always find reasons.
So it's just like a dead account. It's just like there for.
They work for Kik to make
facade.
It seem like there's look, there's people on.
Wow, they're doing so great over there.
Kik, I'm sorry, Tinder.
Tinder, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell they're Tinder bots.
Yeah.
They're Tinder bots. They're Tinder employees.
Right.
So, and you can just tell. And Tinder may deny it, but it's so true. I've worked in IT. I know how things work.
Yeah. There's also Soul Swipe. Have you ever heard of that?
That's probably a newer one. Yeah.
I think that's the African American community, Soul Swipe.
Okay. Yeah. There you go.
So you can check that out.
There's all
too.
Kinds. Well, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
hey, why not?
But why can't African Americans be on Tinder?
I don't know.
They are, as far as I can
know.
tell.
I listen to the hip hop station. You got to listen to find out about Soul Swipe.
Okay. What was there was one swing site that Ralph mentioned?
Oh yes, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, that was the one that missed mine. I think it was like a Lifestyle Lounge, I believe.
Lifestyle Lounge.
Oh.
Can I tell you, like, just briefly, even before, like when Ralph announced he was in the Lifestyle and was a swinger, I just wasn't surprised. He just seems like that. Wasn't there something he gave off the vibe? Very comfortable with his sexuality.
I think.
And flirty.
I want to think I remember him saying that
really?
much earlier, but Kevin not clicking on it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God, Kevin was so hilarious.
But yeah, like recently, I guess when he said it, it came.
Yeah, I forget which babble that was, but
now it's like.
Now I want to.
See, now Kevin kind of does that one joke that I know, like people say, "Oh, get a grip," but he makes it so that like there was something like, "Wait a minute, why do you?" Oh, it was him crying over a song. Ralph cries over a song, and he's like, "Didn't you used to fuck men and women and
like that takes away any sort of sensitivity you have?"
Exactly, like you can't be sentimental, like somehow because you have a more active and open sex life,
but listen,
that you can't have sentimentality or that kind of thing in your life.
His warmth and affection and his flirtiness
are part of it.
Almost like I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's more of like an okayness with himself. I don't know. I was not surprised. What?
Not a gayness.
Not a gayness. Okayness. Yeah, Ralph is definitely not gay.
Yeah. No.
Ralph.
He's all man.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, but that's.
He's cool with it.
But the majority. Okay, I have a question.
So
for
anyway,
you. I have a question for you about the lifestyle.
That was my thing about the bi thing.
Okay, I have a question for you about the lifestyle. So, people, what we can tell people is it a fact that the majority of couples on SLS meet other couples so that the female can sleep with the male and the male can sleep with the other female? Is that the majority of people on SLS?
Well, not necessarily sleep with, but yes, experience.
They want to swap.
They don't not all are full, but yes, most are about.
But you
know what? I don't even know because there are so many it's so weird.
Most couples are heterosexual. Is that what
the standard
is? Right.
Actually, no. The standard always seems to be the guy lists as straight and the woman lists as bi or bi-curious, which is the fucking most bullshit label ever. Bi-curious. How are you bi-curious and in a lifestyle? Curious is something you do once or twice. You're not curious once you've made up your mind.
Right.
So anyway.
Right. To me,
I'm a little bi-furious.
Right. Bi-furious.
Yeah, that's from what do you call it?
That's cute.
That's from the movie with the poster in just the next room, Scott Pilgrim. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I know why I started saying monogamous, but what I meant to say was heterosexual.
Yeah.
So to you, it's not mainly heterosexual couples on SLS.
To us, I mean, we tend to look for like ourselves,
right?
Because we've found that when you get into a couple where there is, where the guy isn't bi, it just becomes like everything becomes about him. For some reason, even though everyone else in that room is bi, we now have to cater to this jerk off.
Well, that's a story I could tell.
You know what I mean?
It's
it's become...
That was an experience. We've had that experience.
That becomes not fun. I'm done, folks.
Interesting, but guys.
We don't even have a closer. Have fun, have sex. Come out. Do we have a closer?
No.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of...
We'll have to have a closing line, like Ralph says.
But you can't do that. You can't. Those have to come.
Edit
those have
it.
to come naturally.
Right.
If we don't have it yet, let's not make one. It has to come on its own.
I know.
It's just like a real good dick. It has to come on its own.
Right.
No, it doesn't. It needs play.
Speaking of that, I liked before when he said that the gas gauge was erect. It was funny.
Oh,
never heard that before.
I said it has.
I
said the gas has a hard on. It was a boing.
The gas gauge has a hard on.
Yes.
That was kind of cute.
Yeah, it wasn't moving. All right, folks. We will check you next time. Hopefully, it'll be with Ralph Garman. That would be awesome.
Right.
For the next Tales from the Date. But it will come soon.
It'll be soon.
All right, we're out of here.
Have lots of fun till then, guys. Okay. No.
Bye.
Don't put babies in.
that was, oh, God, really? Oh, man, you had to do that because now I have to go. No! All right, folks.
Bye, guys.